right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Unity of Livonia, A Course in Miracles study group. And just those words out of my mouth is starting to point me toward a zone where I like to be and like to spend some time. And it's even nicer when I have other people that are as crazy as I am. Of course, the crazy people would call us crazy, right? But I think that we've found something that addresses all of our life questions. Not just some of them, but all of them. And it may be, way out answers and stuff, but I think with A Course in Miracles and other like spiritualities as well, we're touching upon answers to some of life's biggest questions. And these types of discussions are meaningful to me because they cover subjects, I don't know about you, but they're important subjects to me. Hello, Sue. Good evening. Welcome.
I have to tell you, you're good luck because I have a brand new computer and Zooms were not working. And I had no idea if this one would work.
All right.
And here I am.
You have a new
Thank you,
computer?
Dee.
Do you
Huh?
have a new computer or are you just using a different computer tonight?
No, brand new.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. We're moving up in the tech world. Hey, Sherilyn White. Good evening.
Hello.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, that's all right, dear. We're glad to see you. And we were just getting ready to get started, I guess, with our agenda, unless y'all have something else you want to say ahead of time.
Uh-oh.
Anybody? Oh, by the way, I got some good reviews, Sue, on your Thanksgiving message.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I did forward that to the group. Thank you so much for that. And
Thank you for sending it out.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to say something to Sue. It was the most beautiful Thanksgiving note I've ever read or received.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you. Wait a minute. I'm getting a microphone and recording.
Well,
it was
Thank you.
just, I mean,
no.
yeah,
Sue
beautiful.
is quite an accomplished writer, and I think it showed even in just that Thanksgiving message. So,
When did that go out? I don't think I received it.
Oh, really?
Before Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Have to look back.
Yeah. Well, I could send it again, but I don't have your email address.
Yeah. I'll follow up with Sherilyn.
Oh, okay.
Sherilyn,
Yeah, Jim can.
back around that time, it would have been forwarded from me on Sue's behalf. Okay.
So can I ask you a question, Sue? I didn't want to do it without your permission. I'd love to forward it to friends of mine and, saying that it came from you, but I didn't want to do it without asking you.
I appreciate that, and it's fine.
Okay.
Thank you. That's fine. That's a lovely compliment.
Thank you. Really.
A lot of talents in our group, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else to say, but let's get into our Course in Miracles study. And tonight we start with the manual for teachers. And then after that, we'll do our workbook lesson for tonight. We are on question number 5 in the manual for teachers. and the manual is in a question and answer format. I forgot how many questions, maybe 27 or 28 altogether. But tonight we're on question 5, and that's on page 17. And the title is How is Healing Accomplished? And there are 3 parts for us to get into, but you know, just to get us started, I must say, out of all the things the Course says, this thing about sickness being purely a decision and that I don't ever have to be sick again, uh, that's always a difficult sections for me. I'm sure it's true. It's just that it's difficult for me to just fit that in. And I'm not sick very often at all. I mean, I'm pretty healthy in that. But it says if you just said, I have no need for what I'm trying to get out of sickness, I would be cured immediately. I think that's the language we'll see in some of our reading. What are your thoughts? Uh, what is the workbook lesson? Is it 136? Sickness is a defense against the truth. Always struggle with that one, to be honest. And so when we talk about this question tonight on page 17, I hope I can get an even better understanding and acceptance of the truth of this. Uh, I know it's true. I'm just waiting on me to get to a better place where I can more fully accept it. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? Uh, this idea that sickness is totally a choice and that you can choose and I guess not ever be sick, that it's all,
It's a conscious choice.
yeah.
They claiming it's a conscious
No,
choice.
well, no, I think it's more an unconscious choice that we're making. And Jesus is going to elaborate on where this choice is coming from. Uh, and the more he talks about it, I think the more you'll see how the premise is insane. But he's already said, my problem is I'm crazy. But through the course, I don't think I'm as crazy as I used to be. So we're works in progress, right? God isn't finished with us yet. Yes, ma'am.
um, there is a book out there right now called The Way Out by Alan. What's Alan's last name? I forgot his last name. Anyhow, yeah, I'll remember it. Anyhow, a Dr. Schuenbacher from Providence Hospital started a program on how you can stop severe pain. And it's along the same lines in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
And I read both books. One is too technical, a lot I didn't understand because I'm not a doctor. But the way out is step 1, 2, and 3. And it could have been right out of Unity, very frankly. But I didn't know about healing severe physical pain. We have 2 types of pain. One is protection. that's to make sure you get the proper care when something is wrong. And the brain knows to do this. The other is neuroplastic pain. That's a mistake. The brain doesn't know when to quit the pain. So the brain just keeps going with the severe pain. And how you stop it, and you have to be extremely disciplined to do this, is you talk to your brain. And what you do is when you have the severe pain, you look it straight in the eye as if you're really seeing the pain, and you uh I am going to get rid of you more or less.
Mhm.
And then you reframe and you do something funny, like you see the pain being wrapped in a bowl of laughter and it's going away. And you do this for as long as it takes. Now, my son did this for back pain. He has juvenile rheumatoid arthritis since he's 6. Do you know it went away? He's not had any pain for a year.
Mm.
Oh. I could see that too. I could.
But that's the same. They're not saying that they chose the pain, but to be able to take it away through what I call psychological means is really what they're saying.
Yeah. And
They just,
psychological means or mental means.
yeah,
And that's the same remedy that the course talks about. So I see how you see
yeah, because
that
that's
relationship.
reframing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've known it for years for uh, changing your perspective on life and bringing something into form that you want to have happen. But I didn't know anything about physical pain. So if you could do it for physical pain, granted, this is not easy, this is very challenging. But if you can do it for physical pain, why can't you do it for any type of illness?
Yeah. Mind power is ultimately what we're talking about.
Right.
Another way of saying it is thought power.
Hmm.
And thought is the most powerful force there is, the power of thought.
Right.
Of
And
course, I have no neutral thoughts. Thoughts are alive. I mean, they're active. Was there something else there, Sue?
I was going to say, laughter yoga is, I'm a laughter yoga facilitator.
No,
That's based on the same premise.
I
If you
know,
think
yeah,
about it,
yeah.
it's the same thing. You laugh away your concerns, more or less. Now, I'm putting it in simplicity, but you laugh for everything, whether it's fake or it's real. You don't have jokes. You have specific exercises for different parts of the brain and the body. And they're all fun and they're stupid and you look ridiculous.
So ultimately, you kind of end up talking yourself
Out of it.
out of the problem.
That's right.
I totally believe that that can be done. I'm not the perfect practitioner yet, but we're open, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
For new ideas and other approaches to things other than what we've been taught. Let's get started here with readers tonight. So I've got D as reader 1. I have Hilda not reading. And oh, by the way, Joan let me know she couldn't be here tonight. Anyhow, D is 1, Ron is 2, Sue is 3, and Sherilyn is reader 4. We're on page 17, and the title of this question, question 5, how is healing accomplished? So why don't we just start reading and get into it that way? Dee, would you get us started, please?
Sure. How is healing accomplished? Healing involves an understanding of what the illusion of sickness is for. Healing is impossible without this. Should
Keep
I
going,
go on?
please. Yes, absolutely.
The perceived purpose of sickness. Healing is accomplished the instant the sufferer no longer sees any value in pain. Who would choose suffering unless he thought it brought him something and something of value to him? He must think it is a small price to pay for something of greater worth. For sickness is an election, a decision. It is the choice of weakness in the mistaken conviction that it is strength. When this occurs, real strength is seen as threat and health as danger. Sickness is a method conceived in madness for placing God's Son on his Father's throne. God is seen as outside, fierce and powerful, eager to keep all power for himself. Only by his death can he be conquered by his Son.
You may as well finish that section, okay, Dee?
Okay. And what in this insane conviction does healing stand for? It symbolizes the defeat of God's Son and the triumph of his Father over him. It represents the ultimate defiance in a direct form which the Son of God is forced to recognize. It stands for all that he would hide from himself to protect his quote-unquote life. If he is healed, he is responsible for his thoughts. And if he is responsible for his thoughts, he will be killed to prove to him how weak and pitiful he is. But if he chooses death himself, his weakness is his strength. Now has he given himself what God would give to him, and thus entirely usurped the throne of his Creator.
Okay. What's your impression of the perceived purpose of sickness? What is he saying? Why would we elect to be sick?
To prove that we're right and God's wrong.
You want to elaborate, Miss Newman?
Well, God has given us eternal life. We have seemingly separated from God. And so to prove that we're right, we show that we don't have eternal life in our belief system.
All right. Beautifully said, as expected, Dee.
Well, I have experience with pain and healing through thoughts, through becoming aware of my thoughts that was unconscious, that I had no clue, because Susan asked if it was conscious or unconscious. It's definitely thoughts. In sentence 5, it says, if he is healed, he is responsible for his thoughts. His thoughts. The only way I could take responsibility for my thoughts is being aware of them. My whole start on this path of spirituality started with me going to Silver Mine Method, even though I didn't believe in it at all. My sister had gone to help my son, who has been sick since the day he was born, still is, and according to the world. And she had heard that this would help him. She didn't have money. It cost money. Both of us, we didn't have money to just spend on courses, workshops. And she was determined to go to help her nephew. So, and she had to fight for that, so to speak. In those times, in my times as well, I had to fight to get money for what I wanted to spend it on, even though my husband and I both worked, right or wrong. I don't do that anymore, but that was the case with my sister too. So when she took the course, Silver Mine Method, for my son, for her nephew, and she didn't tell me about it, because she knew I wouldn't be interested.
You know,
And when she found it helpful, that's when she told me about it and asked if I would go also. And I was so moved by her love, that love is what did it for me, that I said, how could I tell her no? She asked, Dee, will you come with me? This is what I did. It was really helpful. I think you'll. At that time, all I wanted was logic. I thought this was woo woo. I never heard of this kind of stuff before. I went in my mind kicking and screaming, literally. But how could I tell my sister no after such a loving act, a gesture? So I went, and that's where they taught me about mind body connection. That whatever you think, they gave two examples. They gave one saying, if you're always dropping things in your mind, you probably have the thought, I can't handle it. Well, there's the mind body connection. You're telling your body you can't handle it, so you don't. You drop things.
once
The next
again,
example they gave was if your feet are always hurting, that was me. Literally, that was me. You're probably telling yourself, I can't stand it. To which point my sister elbowed me, we're sitting next to each other, and said, Dee, that's you. And I like barked at her, defensively. What's me? I don't ever say that. Oh, yes, you do, she said. And I swear I did not know I was saying that. When I was annoyed with my family, I would say, I can't stand it. What I felt like saying was cursing at them, because that was my angry style at the time. I would curse. So I was very proud of myself for not cursing. And my fallback, my knee jerk reaction was, I can't stand it. I didn't know I was saying it. I didn't know. I drove home. It was a 3-hour drive. I said, why not try what they're telling me? I paid all this money for this workshop. Why not try it? And what they said is, bring up the thought that you're having. I can't stand it. In your mind, put a big X through it. Say cancel, cancel, and replace it with what you want. The 3-hour drive, I sang to myself, I can't stand it. Whatever song was on the radio, I'd hum the song and use the words, I can stand it. My feet never hurt again. I was diagnosed with a neuropathy from a neurologist with my feet. They told me my nerve endings at the bottom of my feet didn't shut off. Most people, their feet, when they touch the ground, their nerve endings shut off. Mine were not. That's why I was in pain. I sat wherever, if there wasn't a chair, I'd sit on the floor because I couldn't stand. Ha ha. I can't stand it. My feet have never hurt again.
all of
Those are the 3
this
steps of
from
forgiveness.
all
Own it, take responsibility, be willing to hand it over and have it replaced with some truth.
you make
And then I went home and said, okay, this worked. What else is there out there that I don't know about?
gotcha.
That's,
That's beautiful.
yeah. So everything and I also study something called metapsychiatry, which is just like the Course in Miracles. And they point blank said, this is a mental universe. A mental universe. Everything is about our thoughts. The Course says we have 2 thought systems. Love or fear, we're either in one or the other.
And we
So
don't see the full impact of that. We get it intellectually, but every thought we have, we are subconsciously talking ourselves into things, even though we're consciously unaware of it.
so we're not only talking ourselves into it. What very simply, what Silver Mind Method said is, your body is like a genie. Your wish is my command. You tell the body that, it says, "Okay, I'll do that."
The Course says the body is neutral
That's right. But
and
we have no
only
neutral
carries
thoughts.
out commands that are given to it.
But we have
So
no
there's
neutral
so
thoughts.
much evidence, you know, that thoughts have power, that they make the world we see. And again, going back to Hermes and mentalism, the law of mentalism, this is just more evidence for it. But thank you, Dee. It's a great testimony, and I think very educational for us. But let's get back to the idea here. You said in sentence 5, if he is healed, he is responsible for his thoughts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go look at paragraph 1 and look at sentence 7. Sickness is a method conceived in madness for placing God's Son on his Father's throne. And you'll see that idea again in paragraph 2, sentence 8. Now has he given himself what God would give to him, and thus entirely usurped the throne of his creator. Now, that's a very high level activity for something we think of as maybe mundane as sickness. Is that really what we're doing? We're proving God wrong. As Dee said, God says we're eternal, and our ego says, no, you're not. You're not what God is. You're separate. Is that the cause of sickness? It's like, well, screw you. I'm going to kill myself before you kill me. It's a strange sentence down here. Did you get this? Paragraph 2, it says in sentence 7, but if he chooses death himself, his weakness is his strength. Did you get that? Do you understand that?
I could tell you what I make of it.
Okay.
If he chooses death himself, if he chooses unawareness, like I was unconscious, I was saying that. If he chooses unawareness, going back to sleep, now the ego is my strength because I'm not aware. Death is unawareness.
Well, I
Hilda?
was, yeah, I was thinking just in simple terms. So to me, what it means is, as an, if I'm sorry, maybe I'm totally wrong, but like if I say, if I choose suicide, I'm in control of my life. And I think this is basically what they're referring to, just to say, I mean, you know, I can make my decisions myself. I don't need God to tell me this. And
I have to say something to that because that's my field of expertise. No,
thank you.
they are not in control of their life. They are dying by suicide, making the decision. They're panic stricken because they're in pain all the time. They're terrified of themselves. And it is so complicated. And I mean, I have a son who died by suicide, and I worked with him. And he died because they couldn't stop the voices in his head. Where the voices came from, I can't answer, nor could any psychologist or psychiatrist. It's very complicated, but I was thinking about it. If you could talk yourself out of it, so to speak, and Joey did talk to God a lot. He was angry, but he talked to God. Um, if they really knew how to talk themselves out of it, I bet they could.
Yeah.
But it's coming from a different platform. Where's it coming from that Joey got all these thoughts that tell him that he should die by suicide? Nobody knows. And he's not the only one experiencing that.
Well, let me thank you. I mean, both of you, what a a deep conversation just getting into it. But here's the thing I don't want you to miss. The choice being made here says, I'm going to prove you wrong, God, even if I have to kill myself. Isn't that the rationale? And I'm saying, is that sane? Or is that an insane premise? Who would kill themselves rather than let someone else be right? That's a case of, would you rather be happy or right? Well, I'd rather be right.
I think it's far more complicated than that when you're talking about suicide.
And I think suicide is just one example of death. I think death
That's
is
right.
any unloving thought to yourself, of God, to others.
So
And you
there's
talk
that
to it.
broad definition of death. I could go with that. Were you saying something else, dear?
And there's a broader definition of health. It's
Hmm.
it's it's peace, no matter what's going on.
It's
It's
not
mental health.
just
It's
physical
not
health. We have
right.
to remind ourselves that we're talking about all aspects of ourselves, emotional aspects, mental aspects, physical aspects. We're like, we have a multiplicity of areas of which we're comprised.
And how easily we just think of sickness with the body, which is showing that that's what we think we are. We take it right. We don't even think of it as healthy in my mental state. That's what health is.
Good point.
We
And
go
Oh, it's
straight to the
definitely.
body, which is what we're not.
yes, Sue, what did you say?
That's interesting because when Joey died, I talked to Joey, and Joey talks back to me. And I've done this since I'm a little girl, and I know a lot of people who do it. Nothing, it shouldn't be new to this group. But the fact is that Joey shared with me what he needed to do before he went totally to the other side in heaven. And he had to heal every single thing. He had a choice. He could come back here and start over, but he'd experience the same experiences to heal them. Or he could heal them on the other side. And he chose to heal them on the other side. And what is my kid doing? What he did here. He helped a ton of people here. And that's exactly what he's doing there. He's going from universe to universe. He takes on the persona of that universe and he helps people to learn how to live life successfully. I'm putting in simplicity. But what he is actually helping them with, something very similar to the Course in Miracles,
Which is,
which which really would blow some people's minds.
which is changing thoughts about themselves
Yeah,
and
reframing.
therein achieving their true perfection.
Exactly.
And see, Sue, I mean, gee whiz, you're in the safe group tonight. Nobody's very sick. Okay.
Oh, I've said it in an unsafe group.
But being open minded, there are realms of activities that may be going on in places and universes and ooh, it's overwhelming just to think about it. So I don't want to.
Well, I'm getting
Um,
beyond, but I couldn't help but bring that up because on the other side, he in essence is working the Course in Miracles.
okay. I, hey, who am I to say?
I mean, I that's what he's telling me, and I believe it. it makes sense to me. And Al, my husband who died, said the same thing when he went over there,
Well, you
which
can
was
read a lot of literature where people will be saying the same thing about past lives and other
right.
universes. And I mean, it's so arrogant of us to think that we're the only
We're
being
not.
like that around. So I'm more inclined in Sue's direction than I am with the very narrow definition of what humans and life are that the world teaches. But again, to get us back into
I'm
this,
sorry.
oh, no, this is fine. This section is called the perceived purpose of sickness. And Reverend Jim, I'm just going to keep it simple. The, percent, the perceived purpose of sickness is stupid, is what I think Jesus is saying. That if you look at it, you'd rather be right than happy, wouldn't you?
Sounds like it.
God says you can't be sick, that you're eternal, that you never die. For some reason, I'm consumed with the idea that, yes, I am vulnerable. Yes, I can be attacked. Yes, I can be sick. No, you did make junk when you made me, God. Uh, your perfection, as you can plainly see, I am not. And if you can't see it plainly, I'll show you. At your hand, I die. You can't fire me, I quit. I'll have the last word. That's insane. But we'd rather follow that than the glorious truth simply by changing our self talk about what we are. Know thyself. It'll make all the difference in the world, won't it?
And really, that's the title of the next paragraph we're up to. The shift in perception, the shift in my thoughts, in my
Exactly.
percep. That's what
Exactly.
it's all about.
Well, Ron, you want to get started there then?
Yes, I can't compete with Dee and Sue, but I appreciate both of you. I appreciate everything you said,
That was very
both
good.
of you.
Nobody can keep up with this group, right? Go right ahead, my friend.
Okay. The shift in perception. Healing must occur in exact proportion to which the valuelessness of sickness is recognized. One need but say, there is no gain at all to me in this, and he is healed. But to say this, one first must recognize certain facts. First, it is obvious that decisions are of the mind, not of the body. If sickness is but a faulty problem-solving approach, it is a decision. And if it is a decision, it is the mind and not the body that makes it. The resistance to recognizing this is enormous because the existence of the world as you perceive it depends on the body being the decision maker. Terms like instincts, reflexes, and the like represent attempts to endow the body with non-mental motivators. Actually, such terms merely state or describe the problem. They do not answer it. Keep
Please.
going.
Uh-huh.
The acceptance of sickness as a decision of the mind for a purpose for which it would use the body is the basis of healing. And this is so for healing in all forms. A patient decides that this is so, and he recovers. If he decides against recovery, he will not be healed. Who is the physician? Only the mind of the patient himself. The outcome is what he decides that it is. Special agents seem to be ministering to him, yet they but give form to his own choice. His choices then, in order to bring tangible form to his desires. And it is this they do and nothing else. They are not actually needed at all. The patient could merely rise up without their aid and say, I have no use for this. There is no form of sickness that would not be cured at once. Wow.
How
Oh,
many times did it say in these two paragraphs it's all coming from our mind?
Mhm.
you mean we always say nothing is certain but death and taxes.
Mhm.
Are you saying we could eliminate one of those two? Death?
Yes.
It's only true in the physical realm, which in itself is not reality.
So the mind is more powerful than we even think we know. It is just beyond
Right.
powerful.
And when you look at look at even the field of psychology,
Mhm.
how late it was in evolving compared to physical medicine and Hippocrates
Mhm.
and surgery and all of those physical remedies. Psychology's a late bloomer in that arc, isn't it?
So many people still need medical proof, scientific proof.
Of
Um,
Anything.
of any, like spirituality, they say is catching up to, or medicine is catching up to spiritual understanding.
but
It's always been there. Why do I need the medical proof that this is true when I have my own proof in my own life?
but a good point you're making. What I wanted to emphasize though is how much what we know about the psychological aspects of life if we had spent the same amount of time looking at that as a much more important focal point for why things happen. And we had started it centuries ago, like we did with the focus on the physical body. Even the physical universe, we've spent a lot of resources trying to understand the physical universe, but relatively little time exploring the mental, the psychological aspects of things. So, what we're learning now is that it's the mental stuff that causes the physical. So, if
Mhm.
you wanted to really understand, you invest resources in the mental sphere because the physical sphere is an effect of the mental activity. This is a late discovery, isn't it?
Well, even with it being a late discovery, so it is a discovery, and yet who wants to own that? It's much easier to blame the body or blame somebody else. I mean, it's telling us that the world is an outside picture of it, our inward condition of the mind, and we still don't do it. Even those of us that are studying this.
Many of us, compared to society as a whole, are even aware of what we're learning here. And even
Fringe.
we're just getting started in it. And
Right.
we're a very small minority of the population of brothers and sisters who still think that the physical is the causal level of things. This may be easily as true as the physical emphasis, but we haven't spent much time with it yet. It's for us an emerging science. Another example, I used to teach anatomy and physiology. You know, you open the anatomy book and you'll see a picture of the human body, right? One of these days, they'll put your chakras in there too, right?
Mhm.
We're discovering there are other centers that make us up
Mm-hmm.
besides the physicals, the bones, the muscles, the tissue. What about your energetic regions? I'm just saying, this is a late discovery, but
Mm-hmm.
we're getting there. Evolution
Mm-hmm.
is going to take us to the undeniable results that the things that show up are the collective thoughts that we have. I'll stop there. Lively discussion so far. Other comments from you? Paragraph 1, take a look at sentence 5. Is if sickness is but a faulty problem solving approach, it is a decision. What problem is sickness trying to solve? Or am I I underline it because it was fuzzy. I want to get your opinion. If sickness is but a faulty problem solving approach, it is a decision. What is the problem that we're trying to solve?
We're trying to solve it in the body. The sentence before says that first it is obvious that decisions are of the mind, not of the body. So when we accept that it's of the mind, we have a choice. We could decide which mind we're going to be in. We're going to believe
What is the problem?
that we
That
think it's.
See, here's what I'm getting at. It says it's a faulty way to trying to solve a problem, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
we think the problem's in the body.
Okay. Does that make sense to the rest of you? Thanks, Dee. That helps me out. That caught my attention. Anything else that you can form a question about here? I told you at the outset, I always struggle with these.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the sentence before and the sentence after that declares that we think it's of the body. So the sentence before says, first, it is obvious that decisions are of the mind, not of the body. And the sentence afterwards says, and if it is a decision, it is the mind and not the body that makes it.
Uh, Makes what
The
decision?
decision.
that
The
makes a
choice,
wrong
which,
decision.
yeah,
It's the mind that's making a
Right.
faulty decision,
yeah.
which now puts it not in the realm of the inevitable, but in the realm of choice, of a decision. And
So,
that's what most brothers and sisters don't understand. Heck, we barely understand it, but we're willing, right?
so
Uh-oh.
wasn't it Emmett Fox from Unity that coined the term mental equivalent? What is the mental equivalent?
Do any of you? I know of Emmett Fox, the
Mhm.
Unity.
He coined that term, which is just what it's talking about here. What is the mental equivalent? Which is the, yeah, it's saying the same thing. Metapsychiatry says the same thing too. They say there's two intelligent questions. The first one is what's the meaning, the mental equivalent of what seems to be. My feet hurt.
Gotcha.
What was the mental equivalent? My thought, I can't stand it.
Yes.
And then the second intelligent question is what is what really is? What's the truth? It has nothing to do with the body. It has everything to do with my thoughts.
If you talk to a therapist, my family has a therapist in there, my kids own a clinic. Um, they would agree with that. Now, they would not agree with the Course in Miracles, and they don't agree with unity, but they also do agree with the Kabbalah, which is very similar to unity. And they go take special programs. It's called Jewish therapy, which is very similar to the Course in Miracles. Now, that they believe in. And they believe that if you change your mind, you change your thoughts, you change your life. However, they're looking at your life, not your changing your body. Ultimately, you are changing your body, but I don't think they see how they're all together.
Cause and effect relationships.
Well, of course, relationships. That's a given.
No,
They
I
all
said
think that.
cause and effect relationships. Maybe they're not clear that everything is mental, that the rest is an effect of
From the mental. They're clear that I think all the therapists I know are clear that everything has an effect on the mental and the mental has an effect on the physical. They're not questioning that, but they don't give it the power we're talking about, the
yes.
Well,
mental.
you're saying they know that it has an effect, but it's more than an effect. It starts with the
Yeah,
mental.
they they don't necessarily agree with that.
Right.
But when you reframe and you change your thoughts, you change your life totally. Whether you agree with it or not, you are changing your life totally. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I'm perfectly healthy. I'm 86 years old, thank God, and I'm healthy. And so people have said you're really lucky, you have great genes. I do have good genes. This is true for my mother. But I have to say, the reason why I am very healthy is because I expect to be very healthy.
Yeah.
And that comes from what I've learned. Doesn't mean that I won't get sick sometime. I mean, as far as I know, we believe we go on in spirit and we go on in life. But someday I'm going to be dead according to this world.
The body will be.
The body will be dead, deader than a doornail. And the rest moves on. So I happen to really believe that. Um, I haven't seen it. You mentioned something else that I wanted to share. I have a very dear friend who's 106 years old. She has congestive heart failure, but I've never seen a person bounce back like this woman. She is determined to live. She wants to know everything going on. Her mind is perfectly normal and she's exceptionally bright. She's a chemist. Now, 106 in a chemist, there was never a boy in any one of her college classes. I mean, never a girl, in just her. And my point being, she basically, even though she has congestive heart failure, she's in great shape. Now she says to me, 2 and 2 is 4, Susan. I try to believe in God. I want to believe in God, but I don't see God. I can't prove anything about God. And that's where she comes from. She's more metaphysical than she realizes.
Mhm.
But she also believes, she says, I could die tomorrow. And I said, so could I.
Yeah.
She expects something in her, she said, expects that she'll go to 107.
It's mental.
That's all mental.
We're back
That's
to mental.
that's why she's not lucky, and neither are you,
Mhm.
because you're planning it. That's where you're going with it.
That's what I was
It's
going
got
to
nothing
say.
to do with luck. It's what you decide
Yeah,
in your mind you want your body to be, and so forth.
and it's decisions whether they're conscious or subconscious, but
That
that's
decision is
what's
being made.
running things. It's being carried out. Yes.
And
Yeah,
that's
it's,
why it's so important
Our,
to become aware of my own thoughts.
yes.
yeah.
Awareness.
And that's one
Our
of the
next,
beauties
wait,
of
hold up,
unity.
hold up. I need to get us a little bit back on course.
I'm
Susan,
sorry.
our next reader. We're on paragraph 3.
It's me.
Pardon me?
It's me.
Oh,
Reader.
Okay,
I know, but my approach is we get together, we let spirit take us, and then I facilitate a little bit when I need to. We love you. Paragraph 3.
okay. Let's see
Okay,
about
here we go. What is a single requisite for this shift in perception? It is simply this: the recognition that sickness is of the mind and has nothing to do with the body. What does this recognition cost? It costs the whole world, you see, for the world will never again appear to rule the mind. For with this recognition is responsibility placed where it belongs, not with the world, but on him who looks on the world and sees it as it is not. He looks on what he chooses to see, no more and no less. The world does nothing to him. He only thought it did. Nor does he do anything to the world, because he was mistaken about what it is. Herein is the release from guilt and sickness both, for they are one. Yet to accept this release, the insignificance of the body must be an acceptable idea.
And could you do 4 and finish this?
Okay. With this idea is pain forever gone. But with this idea goes also all confusion about creation. Does not this follow of necessity? Place cause and effect in their true sequence in one respect, and the learning will generalize and transform the world. The transfer value of one true idea has no end or limit. The final outcome of this lesson is the remembrance of God. What do guilt and sickness, pain, disaster, and all suffering mean now? Having no purpose, they're gone. And with them also go all the effects they seem to cause and effect, but replicate creation. Seen in their proper perspective without distortion and without fear, they reestablish heaven.
So I'll ask for your comments, but I want to talk about paragraph 4, starting at sentence 4. But anything from you, paragraph 3. Then let me ask the question.
Yeah, I have something from paragraph 3, sentences 1 and 2. What is the single requisite for this shift in perception? It is simply this: the recognition that sickness is of the mind and has nothing to do with the body.
Yeah, that's what this whole thing has basically been about. So it can't be stated too many times because it is in direct opposition to what we've commonly been taught. Sickness is not the inevitable part of living in the world. Sickness is a decision, it's a choice. So maybe that can't be restated too often. Sickness is of the mind and not of the body. But let me have that be the segue to my issue, my question, paragraph 4. We said sickness is of the mind, that's the cause, and not the body. The body would be the effect. So paragraph 4, sentence 4, place cause and effect. In other words, sickness is the cause. The mind is the cause and the body is the effect. If we do that in the true sequence, but then it says, learning will be generalized. What does that mean? Generalization of learning. That's the important point I want to make sure we don't overlook. What does Jesus mean? He says, the learning will be generalized and transform the world. When you learn that all sickness, not just when you need a hip replacement or if you have the flu, but what if you're emotionally ill? Like you can't stand it. Okay? If you understand that all states away from health, away from wholeness, all states are being brought about by the mind, not the body. So I'm going to teach you one thing. Apply it to every state that is not perfect. It has something to do with thought power. The body and your environment are only going to reflect. You may not be aware of having the thoughts. Most of the time, we're not aware of these thoughts. But they're saying this is what is peopling your environment. Now, one way or another, we've heard this so many times. It's incredible, isn't it? Are you saying if I change my thoughts, I can change my whole world? Is that
Mhm.
what he's saying?
The
Yeah,
whole world is in
I,
our consciousness, is in our mind, the way we see the whole world. So, yes.
Yeah. So, the other expression is you may think your mind is in your body, but the truth is that your body is in your mind.
Exactly.
All right. So I just didn't want you to overlook what a big revelation this is and what its ability is to solve not just some of your problems, all of them, all of them, all of them. So if you take what we're saying, generalize it to everything, and we'll all be perfect, right?
They all work the same way. Absolutely.
Let's, oh man, hold on. Yeah, let's do section 3. We're up to Sherilyn White, the function of the teacher of God. This has been a
If the
lively
patient,
discussion. Go ahead, Sherilyn.
if the patient must change his mind in order to be healed, what does the teacher of God do? Can he change the patient's mind for him? Certainly not. For those already willing to change their minds, he has no function except to rejoice with them, for they have become teachers of God with him. He has, however, a more specific function for those who do not understand what healing is. These patients do not realize they have chosen sickness. On the contrary, they believe that sickness has chosen them, nor are they open minded on this point. The body tells them what to do and they obey. They have no idea how insane this concept is. If they even suspected it, they would be healed. Yet they suspect nothing. To them, the separation is quite real.
And paragraph 2, my friend, would you?
Yes. To them, God's teachers come to represent another choice which they had forgotten. The simple presence of a teacher of God is a reminder. His thoughts ask for the right to question what the patient has accepted as true. As God's messengers, his teachers are the symbols of salvation. They ask the patient for forgiveness for God's Son in his own name. They stand for the alternative. With God's word in their minds, they come in benediction, not to heal the sick, but to remind them of the remedy God has already given them. It is not their hands that heal. It is not their voice that speaks the word of God. They merely give what has been given them. Very gently, they call to their brothers to him to turn away from death. Behold, you Son of God, what life can offer you. Would you choose sickness in place of this?
Indeed, do the last paragraph and we'll be done with our assigned reading today.
Not once do the advanced teachers of God consider the forms of sickness in which their brothers believe. To do this is to forget that all of them have the same purpose and therefore are not really different. They seek for God's voice in this brother who would so deceive himself as to believe God's Son can suffer. And they remind him that he did not make himself and must remain as God created him. They recognize illusions can have no effect. The truth in their minds reaches out to the truth in the minds of their brothers, so that illusions are not reinforced. They are thus brought to truth. Truth is not brought to them. So are they dispelled, not by the will of another, but by the union of the one will with itself. And this is the function of God's teachers, to see no will as separate from their own, of their own, not theirs as separate from God's, nor theirs as separate from God's.
So what's the function of the teacher of God? What am I hearing there in the background? Papers
Mm.
turning or something?
That's me, page turning, sorry.
All right. So I'm going to try. There are three big paragraphs here. What is the purpose? I mean, what is our function as teachers of God?
To not be fooled by the form the illusion takes, to remember the truth for
And
each person.
there was here, paragraph 2, sentence 7. With God's word in their minds, they come in benediction, not to heal the sick, but to remind them of the remedy God has already given them. What is the remedy that God has already given them?
The truth, the atonement, love.
Changing your mind. Now,
Changing your mind. I don't know.
Yeah, they gave you the power to
one
refrain.
mind is the mind you made.
Mhm.
The other mind is the mind that God would not let you get away from in your madness.
Right.
You have two voices in your head.
Mhm.
That is not normal. It could have been a problem. So rather than letting you go with this separate voice, you're an individual, you're separate from God and from others, you can do your own thing. God put the voice in that reminds you, no, you're not. So, are you going to listen to the God voice? If you want to solve your problems, if you want the remedy for your problems, listen to the voice that reminds you you are as God created you. You're not different from the intentions of your creator. You are an expression of your creator. The remedy was the second voice, which was really the first voice, but God wouldn't let you get away from it. He put that voice in every splintered, separated heaven that we thought we were making, but we could not get away from the remedy to all the problems that separation would cause. Change your thinking. If you only had one voice, you couldn't change your thinking, could you? Yes or no?
No, there wouldn't be nothing to change.
So you made the realm of choice through the insane, tiny, mad idea, but God would not abandon us, and He made sure we could always come back home. That's why I got two voices in my head. One I made in my madness. The second one, the grace of God would not stop loving me even in my madness. He put the remedy there for me. I thought that was an important point. Do you agree?
Hmm.
Mhm.
The remedy is the Holy Spirit's voice. So, no, it's not normal to have two voices. But since you chose to do it, I'll make sure mine is in the mix no matter what you do. That's called grace. I'm not going to stop loving you even when you want to stop loving me. What do you call that kind of love?
Unconditional.
Thank you. I always forget that word. So, as far out there as it may sound, the new technique is everything is mental. Apply that to everything you see, and you can do what you will with it. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, how you going to change it in your thinking? It is almost time to go, my friends. So I don't think we should embark. Do me a favor, okay? Because I think it'll be worth it. Let's just take another look at our special theme tonight, and I think that'll get us out in a reasonable time. We're still on theme number 2. It's on page 407. What is salvation? Might like to hear this one again. If you're following the schedule, you've already been doing it for a while. But let's do it together and see if there are any insights before we leave tonight. Our next reader here is Ron, and we're on page 47 in the workbook for students. Get us started there, Ron. There are 5 paragraphs altogether.
Okay, I've got to find it first.
Oh, all right, sure.
Page
Oh,
407.
Yeah,
Page 407, what is salvation?
yes, yes, sir.
Salvation is a promise made by God that you would find your way to him at last. I cannot but be
It,
kept.
it,
It cannot but be kept.
mhm.
It guarantees that time will have an end and all the thoughts that have been born in time will end as well. God's word is given every mind which thinks that he has separate thoughts and will replace these thoughts of conflict with the thought of peace.
Yeah, do one more, would you?
The thought of peace was given to God's Son the instant that his mind had thought of war. There was no need for such a thought before, for peace was given without opposite and merely was. But when the mind is split, there is a need for healing. So the thought that has the power to heal the split became a part of every fragment of the mind that still was one but failed to recognize its oneness. Now it did not know itself and thought its own identity was lost.
Thanks. Let's stop just a minute. My comment just from these 2 paragraphs is it's so weird. We were just in the manual for teachers talking about the remedy that God placed in us. And here we are now, way back here in the workbook, and it says, but when the mind is split, there is a need of restoring wholeness. So the thought that has the power, what's that thought? The Holy Spirit,
Spirit.
the mind has the power to heal the split, became a part of every fragment of the mind that was one, but failed to recognize its oneness. That was the remedy. God took care of it. How long did it take for God to take care of the problem?
There is no time.
Yeah. How about an instant? If we want to put some little concept, yeah. Can a slow God be God? No. God took care of it. We split. He wouldn't let us split. That was the remedy. That's how I got two voices in my head. That's how I got weird, right? Well, you are too, but let's Sue, do the why don't you finish us out here, Sue?
Okay.
Paragraphs 3 through 5.
Salvation is undoing in the sense that it does nothing, failing to support the world of dreams and malice. Thus, it lets illusions go. By not supporting them, it merely lets them quietly go down to dust. And what they hid is now revealed. An altar to the holy name of God, whereon his word is written, with the gifts of your forgiveness laid before it, and the memory of God not far behind. Let us come daily to this holy place and spend a while together. Here we share a final dream. It is a dream in which there is no sorrow, for it holds a hint of all the glory given us by God. The grass is pushing through the soil, the trees are budding now, and the birds have come to live within their branches. Earth is being born again in now perspective. Night has gone, and we have come together in the light. From here we give salvation to the world, for it is here salvation was received. The song of our rejoicing is the call to all the world that freedom is returned, that time is almost over, and God's Son has but an instant more to wait until his Father is remembered. Dreams are done, eternity has shined away the world, and only heaven now exists at all.
So I wish Joan was here so I could ask this question. But it says, the song of our rejoicing is the call to all the world that freedom is returned, that time is almost over, and that God's Son has an instant more of time to wait until his Father is remembered and dreams are undone and eternity has shined away the world and only heaven now exists. What is he describing there? What would Joan say is happening here? She would say,
God will take
God
the final step, and God
rejects
will take the final step.
the final step until the Father is remembered and all the dreams now dissolve. Remember, we're at a happy dream now, and the grass is growing, and the birds, where we used to see pain and suffering, now we're seeing birds in the trees and all of that. And it's still a dream, right? But it's a new dream. But the new dream, once we all get to that, in an instant more, God will take the final step. Now, you've heard this before, right? But notice how you're hearing it in different places. Said differently, but the same message, isn't it? Okay. Thank you for coming out tonight. We didn't do our lesson or meditation, but listen, I show up and give spirit a chance to move around, and I hope you're okay with that, because I'm fascinated when I let spirit do the work, and I'm okay with this. Final questions or comments? I appreciate you all and all of your comments and your experiences that you can contribute for our well-being tonight. You got big plans for the rest of the week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to live in the thought world as often as possible. You know why? Because I'm convinced that that's where things get done. If you want to get something done, work at the mental level, right? Because now we got cause and effect in proper perspective. Thank you for coming out and for your indulgence tonight. I hope you found it of value. And unless you have something else to add, Hildegard will take us on out of here eloquently.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Thank you. I will endeavor to do that.
All right.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. I am the light of God.
I am
I
the light
am
of
the
God.
light
The
of
light of
God.
God.
I am the love of God.
I am
I
the
am
I
love
am
of
the
the
God.
love of God.
I am the power of God.
I am the
I
power
am the
of
power
God.
of God.
I am the presence of God.
I am the
I am the
presence of
presence of
God.
God.
Therefore,
Therefore,
wherever I am,
wherever
wherever I am,
am,
God is,
God
God
is,
is,
and all is well.
and
and
all is
all
well.
is well.
There is nothing to fear.
there is
There is
nothing
nothing to fear.
There is only love.
There is
There
only
is only
love.
love.
Namaste.
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 Thank you, Hilda. Thank you all once again. Tomorrow night, if you can join us for ACIM Music and Meditation, our theme is the benefits of silence. So I hope you can come out and join us. Otherwise, I'll look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Bye,
blessed week,
everybody.
everybody.
Have a blessed
Blessings.
week.
I love you all.
Have a
To you.
beautiful
Love you
week.
too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.